Hey guys, it's been a while since I've uploaded to this channel, but welcome back. And I am sat in a Tesla Model 3 Performance. I've got this car overnight and I'm going to be comparing it to my Volkswagen ID.3 to see how it compares. I'm sure you guys have seen other comparisons before. I'm sure you've seen loads of videos on both the ID.3 and the Tesla, but I'm just going to give you my thoughts on overall what's better, what's worse, some real just pros and cons without going into too much nitty-gritty detail of exactly what the Tesla does. You know, this isn't going to be a video all about self-driving, but I will just kind of give an overview of what is different between this and the ID.3. So this, of course, isn't my first time driving an electric car. I've got a Volkswagen ID.3. So a lot of it's going to feel quite normal to me. The quietness, for example, it is lovely and quiet, but I'm quite used to that. There's going to be differences as well, like regenerative braking and things like that. But for the most part, I just want to put my foot down and see what this thing can do. Obviously not going to do that in a Sainsbury's car park. I'll be doing that in just a moment. But yeah, for the most part though, it feels good so far. Okay, now we're in national speed limit. Now we can go up to 70 miles an hour. So I'm going to slow down a bit here. Doing about 30 here. I've got a truck behind me, so I'm not going to wait too long. Right, here we go. This is the first time I put my foot down in a Model 3 Performance. Let's do it. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know how to put that into words. Hopefully my face got that across to you guys well enough. Oh my God. I mean, look, I knew it was going to be fast. I've been in some quick cars before, but that was mind-boggling. I don't know what I expected. It wasn't that. Okay, so I'm going to get one more fun acceleration. It's going to be off this roundabout. I'm hoping anyway. Let's see. Right, ready? Let's go. Oh my, nah, that's absolutely... That's so instant. That is... I'm going to have to turn that down to chill mode. Look, get me out of sport mode, because if you put your foot down in chill mode, look, it's gradual and it limits your peak power. Okay, so now we've got over that initial fun stuff. Now it's time to get to the serious nitty gritty of the differences between this and the ID.3. Well, obviously, the main difference is going to be the screen. Again, you know, I'm not going to try and rehash too much of what you guys, I'm sure, have already seen in other videos, but it really does make a big difference. Much bigger screen and a lot more responsive. I mean, everything just happens the second you press it. I've been able to hit the buttons cleaner. On the ID.3, I'm always kind of missing buttons, having to hold the side of the screen to press the buttons. This, I don't know, I've not seemed to miss the buttons, so that is what it is. Certainly responsiveness is really, really nice. Obviously, the software is virtually incomparable. I'll be honest. I mean, it's just so much better in virtually every way. I mean, the only thing is, because it's constantly updating, there is a few issues. For example, the speed limit display, that mainly uses the sat-nav, just like in the ID.3. The ID.3, though, has got really good camera recognition for speed limits, and sometimes even too good. Sometimes it recognises ones that are perhaps off to the side. For the most part, it does a really good job. This does miss quite a lot of speed limits in the UK, which is quite surprising. I don't really know why it does that. I don't know whether it's the shape of the sign, whether it's a recent update that's broken it, or whether it's because it concentrates too much on America. I don't really know. That's one thing that is worse with the software, and I think there would be a trend, probably if I had a bit more time with the car, of what has changed, what is worse, what is better over time with the software updates. It's not always going to get better. Sometimes there'll be bugs introduced, etc., although Tesla will obviously try and mitigate that as much as possible. One other thing I do really like about this over the ID.3 is the ability to customize the driving. I mean, acceleration, sport and chill. To be honest, with how quick this car is, because it's the performance model, you do need the chill option, because the sport mode can be super, super jumpy with the amount of power this thing's got. Obviously not an issue in the ID.3. The stopping mode, though, is nice. I've got it on hold. That's most similar to the ID.3. The main difference is if I let off the throttle now, look, it stops all the way to 0, which is nice. I've got used to the ID.3. What the ID.3 does, if you have it in B mode or have it in eco mode, it will slow down for you based on what's going on around you, and then it will get to 3 miles an hour, and then just keep going at 3 miles an hour. And it almost feels like it starts accelerating. If you're used to B mode, which slows the car down for you, it almost feels like it starts accelerating at 3 miles an hour, which is a weird thing, whereas this will just naturally slow down and down and down and down until it just stops. So there, if I let off the brake, it will just stop. Nice, really smooth stop, and that's it. It's a lot more intuitive. That's a lot better, I think. You've also got the roll mode, which is maybe more like a combustion engine. So when you let off the brake, if you're downhill, the car will just start rolling. And then you've also got the creep mode, which is in some ways a bit more like the ID.3, but the difference is that doesn't have an auto hold function. So as soon as you release off the brake, it will start moving forward. So I like that there's those options in the Tesla, and that's probably a theme of the software. There's a lot more options on this screen compared to what you've got in the ID.3. You've also got regenerative braking options. That's basically B mode versus D mode in the ID.3. The ID.3 will effectively just roll in D mode. It won't really regenerate at all, whereas the Tesla doesn't go that low, but low is pretty low, to be honest. It doesn't take that long to get used to it. My girlfriend's very used to D mode in the ID.3, and she got quite quickly used to this Tesla. I think I'm kind of going to leave it there for this kind of main screen software. It's largely the same for the most part. Obviously, it is nice that the supercharger doesn't need authenticating, so you just go and plug it in. It's also nice the way it navigates. If you set a destination too far, it would automatically figure out where to stop, and it does it really well. The ID.3 absolutely sucks at that. There's obviously a number of features as well that this has got that the ID.3 hasn't got. Obviously, this visualization is way above and beyond what the ID.3 can do. Yeah, I'm sure there's a million other features I'm missing. It hasn't got Android Auto, I will say, or Apple CarPlay. So if we're used to that, maybe not. But then you've got the full nav built in. You've also got lots and lots of, I don't know where it is actually, but you've got Spotify built in. There we go, Spotify all built into the car. So the idea is you don't need Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, basically. One other minor thing, I don't really like the visualization of the map. I mean, on Android Auto, you kind of have a almost above the car look, don't you? Whereas this is very much top down and quite zoomed out. But again, I think you just get used to that, and I don't think that's really a big issue. Onto the kind of more hardware side then, if we really stop there on the software, definitely it's lower. It definitely rides a lot firmer. I'm not sure how much of that is related to the fact I'm in the performance model. I don't know if it's got a slightly different suspension or not in the performance model. The door handles are different, but that's, again, just getting used to it. It's slightly more efficient to have those door handles. For the most part, it drives similar, I have to say. The steering's more direct, the steering wheel's smaller. It's obviously weird not having the speed there, but you really quickly get used to it there. That's actually, honestly, that's potentially even higher up the speed there, in my view, compared to the ID.3. Obviously, it's off to the left, but you very quickly get used to that. They obviously put it right in the top right there to compensate for the fact that you've only got that one screen. And obviously, that means it is customizable for the future with any future software updates as well. If you're not a techie person, maybe the Tesla isn't for you, because obviously everything's in the screen. Even the open the glove box is in the screen. You can't open the frunk as they call it in America. I don't really know what we call it in the UK. Foot doesn't really work, does it? So everything's software led. So that means, for example, even these buttons here, they haven't got a set function. Obviously, they have got a set function of software at the moment, but that could be updated in the future. So that sort of thing, obviously, may not be that intuitive initially. The indicators is one thing I did want to touch on. So they don't click down and hold down like they do in most other cars. What they do is they've got the same thing when you touch it. So if I tap it down gently, it indicates 3 times. You also get the camera, that's an optional thing. If you tap it down firmly, there's sort of 2 clicks, 1 click, 2 clicks. It will then indicate permanently, but you see it automatically returns up to the middle point. So to turn it back off, you have to flick it the other way or turn the wheel as normal. So there's no mechanical attachment of that. That's an ID.4 actually. But there's no mechanical attachment to that. So it takes a bit of getting used to. The stalk doesn't hold itself down. But again, I think that's okay. I think as long as you're kind of switched on enough and techie enough to understand why that is and be able to kind of, I guess, be adaptive really, then it's fine. I mean, even the lock button, for example, is over here. On my right hand side here, which you probably can't see, all I've literally got is the window open buttons. There is 4 window opening buttons. There's not a separate rear button as in the ID.3. For the most part, the build quality is actually really good. Now, I will say probably the Volkswagen build quality is still a little bit better. I actually sat in the Polestar 2 the other day in a showroom, and that felt really cheap. That really did not feel like a well put together car at all. So the Tesla is not far off the ID.3 in terms of build quality. Yes, the ID.3 is better build quality, but this is not a bad built car at all. A few other things to note: the visibility out the back isn't great. I don't know what it is. I think it's because it's a boot rather than a hatchback. But the visibility, yeah, it's usable, don't get me wrong, but it's not as good as the Tesla. As the ID.3. I'm gonna have to put my foot down a bit here, because why not? It's good fun doing that, that's for sure. But other than that, the visibility probably is a bit better. I'd say the mirrors are similar. The windscreen's definitely a bit taller. As I said, you're definitely lower down in the car. That doesn't really matter too much. As I said, the ride's firmer. It responds ridiculously well, actually. to turning really impressively. You know, the Volkswagen was a lot more lazy by comparison, but obviously it has also got much softer ride, so it's always going to. Yeah, so a great example here of that speed limit. So it's still set to 70. You know, this road is normally 70. We've got a temporary speed limit here. The ID.3 would have picked that up with its cameras. It 100% would have picked up its 40 and displayed it here. The Tesla just hasn't done that. I'm wondering if it's because it's square signs, perhaps because it's not UK-based software developers. They've only maybe coded in the kind of signs that are on poles, not the square temporary signs, so it just doesn't recognize them. So it's just, so if I put autopilot on now, it would start accelerating to 70. That definitely is a drawback, but again, you know, this thing is going to have a lot more software updates than the ID.3, so I'm sure they will fix that over time. But as it's an American-based company, I'm aware Volkswagen isn't UK-based either, but it is at least European-based. As it's an American-based company, will they prioritize that? Will they prioritize making UK-looking speed limit signs? You know, fix them? I don't know. I don't know. I suppose we'll have to wait and see on that one. I'm test driving this car because I'm considering buying it. Maybe not the performance model. Honestly, I'm not sure you need this level of performance. It's fun, but it's genuinely a bit much. Would I get rid of my ID.3 for the Tesla? Now, obviously the Tesla is more expensive. There's no getting around that. This one, I think they said it's like 55,000. It should be, to be honest, more like 50 odd. I don't know why they've got it up for so much. So it is more, you know, it's looking at something like 10 to 15,000 pounds more to get a long range, well, about 10 to 15,000 pound more, probably like for like in terms of range. But for that, obviously, you get a much better charging network, much better software. For example, my girlfriend doesn't like doing long trips in the ID.3 because she always says to me, you're going to have to plan the trip for me. Where should I stop for charging? Because the software just cannot do it well enough. And that's such a core feature of having electric driving. So I'm going to put it in self-drive mode here. Autopilot is now switched on. Yeah, so am I going to buy a Tesla? As I said, the price difference is what it is. Honestly, I think I overhyped it before I got it because, again, I'm such a techie person. And it is very good, but there is little niggles, like the speed limit display. The build quality isn't quite as good. The rear visibility isn't quite as good. For me personally, a hatchback is more suitable. I've got a dog, I like to put him in the boot. So a Model Y would be better, but that's that much more because it's that much newer. I do like it. It's definitely got some pluses, but it's also got some niggles. I kind of expected it to tick all the boxes, even like a panoramic sunroof, which you're mounted to right now. So we can get it to do an automatic lanes change here. No, it didn't want to do it. Can we get it to do it now? No, it doesn't like it. It doesn't like it. So fine, I guess I'll have to take over to make it do an automatic lane change. You see what I mean? Things like that. Don't get me wrong. I was never expected to be the perfect car. This is nice. The big reason for me was the autopilot over the ID.3 because, you know, the ID.3, it's got adaptive cruise control, which I love, but no auto steer. It is just nicer to have the see, why is it not suggesting lane changing? Come on, Tesla, suggest a lane change for me. It's not going to. Is it going to do it now? There you go. Okay, it's okay. So perhaps this version of autopilot doesn't suggest the lane changes for you, but it has done the lane change for me. I've got my hand on the wheel. I did no steering inputs whatsoever there. All I did was indicate and tell it, hey Tesla, I want to change lanes. Let's see if it will go back again. I was thinking a lot about it. It's quite a bit of a delay there. To be honest, it'd be easier to do that myself, but I thought I'd give it a test. There we go, and it has done it successfully. I will say the auto steer is very good at keeping in the middle of the lane. Honestly, it keeps probably more central than I naturally would in the middle of the lane. It is very, very good at it, and it is an easier way to do journeys, and for the most part, it is solid. If all you wanted to do is hold your lane, you know, it's almost like a higher up version of adaptive cruise control. It's really good. It does a job. Let's see if it will go in behind this Jaguar on the right hand side here. Yes, it will, no problem at all. And that was actually quite a swift lane change. That's probably what I'd do anyway. So yeah, I guess to conclude, am I going to buy the Tesla over the ID.3? Well, I've fallen out of love with the ID.3 a little bit. It is a good car. It's just not what it needs to be in an electric era. The software is not up to scratch. They promised us software updates once every 3 months. We have not had that in the slightest. When is the next one going to be? Who knows? Will it even fix all the things? Will it even add all the features we need? Who knows? You know, I'm a techie guy. I think the software side is a huge part for me. If I can get it for a similar monthly payment to what I'm paying for on the ID.3, I will be very, very tempted. Now, the insurance is a lot more, I will say, on the Teslas. Even if you don't go for the performance model, the insurance is a lot more, which is definitely a drawback, but everything else is a bit better. The build quality is very slightly worse. The software is maybe a little bit shaky here and there. but it does have loads more features compared to the ID.3, you know, even like profiles. So, you know, if multiple people drive your car, you can both have the seats how you like it, the wheel how you like it, all the settings how you like it. There's a lot of things there. Being able to use your much more features in the app, being able to use your phone as the key as well. I am tempted. I don't know. I guess if you start to see more and more Tesla videos on this EV driver channel, then you will know that I have bought one. I'm sure my next video, if I do buy one, will be I bought a Tesla over my ID.3, here's why type thing. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's kind of give you an overview of someone who's an ID.3 owner who's driven a Tesla. And hopefully perhaps if you're considering doing the same, or if you're perhaps you know, falling out of love with your ID.3 just like I have done, maybe this will give you some good insight. Do let me know down in the comments what you thought of this video. Let me know as well what your thoughts are of the comparisons between the two, and I'll catch you next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.